Lathan from Burn-In Design. Finally get to see him again, and I just showed you guys some of the Kickstarter stuff that he has. Congratulations on getting funded and plus more.
Yes.
Right?
So we're getting closer. We're only halfway through.
Cool.
That's the cool part of it. So I mean, we had our funding in 3 days, which I was in shock about. I realized I set the funding low because I don't need this to be $1 million success.
Because you're a one-man army, pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, 2 people now. My wife also helps.
Oh, nice.
So I am a real company. She does all the accounting stuff. I do all the parts.
Like most of the interviews I do, I always ask companies that already have stuff out. Now, what's coming after?
Okay. In the case of, we've got a ton of stuff out.
Yeah.
Stuff that's coming out that we've just recently released. Well, first up is stuff for people like you that actually know how to paint. What this is
acrylic with everything else.
6x6.
Yeah.
The base on it, and because it's mirrored, I'm going to kind of do a quick show. The base on it, though, these I can do frosted. I've also got a version of it that has spots for LEDs.
That's what I was about to ask.
Hanging out with Chris and Chris of Powered Play.
Oh yes.
Love those guys. I did a kit that has spots for 8 LEDs, so you can add one of their kits to it and validate a model. So I've been doing a lot of these things. I'm now getting into doing exotic woods more. Okay. So I can do them in cherry, oak, all of those really
cool fancy woods. Stuff.
Exactly. So these have just been put out there. The big thing, the next big thing after the Kickstarter is Western stuff. So
I play Malifaux.
I've been talking to Romeo with Wild West Exodus.
Yes.
I've also had friends that play Malifaux, and of course you know Mac Martin is a friend of mine, so I've got to dive into that one as well. So I've been doing a lot of Western stuff for them. So I've got things like
the Gallows.
The Gallows. This one, it actually has a working drop.
Woo! Look at that.
So the one thing that I'm finding out about it though is I scale all of my terrain. You notice all of it's big. I scale it for humans to play with it, not necessarily to fit the models.
Okay.
One problem you run into when you scale it for the models, you can't fit your hand in.
Yeah.
It kind of pisses you off. The other thing is, for this one, there's actually a real gallows that they used to use down in Texas that this one was based off of.
Oh, wow, nice.
And I started doing research, and you find out that a gallows wasn't really this little teeny tiny thing. It was a 3-story building. Because there were rules about how far they had to drop to break the neck, so they make them big. So I put this on the table yesterday, and it about scared people because it's that big. So I got that one. I did this big monster livery stable building, which this one I've only got one of the doors in it right now. Okay. But it's had sliding doors.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got opening doors. I did a full interior. With staircases.
And this is one of the nice woods.
Yep, this is actually, believe it or not, this is the same wood as the other. All I did was stain it.
Oh, okay.
So for all of the Western buildings, what we did, because all of our stuff is out of wood anyway, it's just wood stain. So standard wood stain, you stain it and you're done. Yeah. You can go from kit to table in under a day.
And you can even get it as weathered as possible.
Exactly. And it makes it so much easier. Yeah. So that's one of the new ones. There's actually a top to it. There's 2 additional wings. So it's about a 17-inch or 18-inch square building when it's done.
Oh, damn, that's...
So we're doing big buildings. If you look at most terrain, they're all these little 3- and 4-inch buildings. I hate them. Because then you got to buy 50 of them to do a table. I want to buy like 10.
If you could, you'll probably make a 3x3, but inside a huge saloon.
Exactly. Things like this. It's a new one we've got, which is a log cabin building with an interior. And there's actually a second floor to this one. This one I didn't put the floor in, but there's provisions to add another floor.
More like an attic kind of thing?
So the roof's removable. So you have an attic floor, so if you're doing for an RPG or something, you can even use it for that.
Now, I think your pride and joy.
Yes. My baby. RJ's Gaming Hall. This,
Do you mind just pulling it up?
Let's show you what you got. So this is, whoops.
Oh, careful.
Before we slide it off, slide that back forward, and then we'll go through all the different options on it. So this is RJ's Gaming Hall. Yeah. You've got doors at the front. You've got your standard wraparound, but then we also have a wraparound balcony. That goes all the way around it. You have stuff at the bottom. We do custom signs for it. So this one I did a custom sign, but when we do them, we can do anything you want.
That translates to, for Malifaux player, Jacob Lynch's honey whatever brothel.
Oddly enough, there's a sign that goes for the back of this one that's called the Feisty Cowgirl. It's the reason why there's a door in a second level. But
that's how much stuff you can put in.
This is a bunch of other stuff that we have in it.
That's a huge gaming hall, basically.
So it's all open interior. The next piece I'm adding to it is going to be staircases and walls that are removable. So you put them where you want, and that way you can, if you're playing a game where you need interior, you can. But with the way the kits are designed, you don't have to build it this way. Every piece of it is modular. So if you want to move the staircase to the other side, you can. If you don't want the balcony this way, you want a balcony here, you can. If you wanted to change the way the windows are, you can. All of the kits, I throw in a ton of extra parts, and I do that for a reason. I hate it when I buy two things and they look alike on the table. This way they're all separate. So I've got a bunch of Western stuff coming out.
And from it looks like you did a lot of research on how to make it look like exactly how it should be in the West, Old West.
And that's one of the things with it. Well, it's like with the buildings. When I started doing the buildings, I started doing research. I'm one of those engineer guys that if I see something, I can dismantle it. So I do a lot of research and I look at things that way. And with these, what I ended up doing is I did research on how Old West buildings look. And started to find out little things such as the whole reason, I grabbed one of these small ones, the whole reason they had this little piece on the front was to make the buildings look bigger. All the buildings were really teeny tiny on Main Street, but to make them look bigger, you did this big flat marquee on it.
Like even modern building nowadays sometimes still does that, but with just glass to make it look like a building.
So it's that same mentality. But the other thing that I found that was interesting was the fact that all they painted was the front. They didn't paint the whole building. They just painted the front. There's no reason to. So a lot of the buildings, that's why a lot of them are in wood and you can stain them so that when you do them, you just paint the front. Which is great if you're setting up a table. No, so I mean, it's just been just a ton of new stuff coming out. I've got the storage stuff. I've been doing the Kickstarter, of course. Little things like this. This is for my Dreadball team. So we've been playing a lot of Dreadball, so I've been doing stuff for them. But it's been keeping busy.
So could I safely say that maybe later in the future, since the success of your Kickstarter, you might even do a Wild West Kickstarter?
In the case of it, we're not going to do a Wild West Kickstarter, but what we're going to do, because now that once we make it through the Kickstarter, we're looking at doing a pre-order system for the next one. Because I love the Kickstarter idea, and I love the way it works, but I don't want to keep going to the well for it. What I want to do is give people an option that here's what we're going to do with it. So for our next one, we are going to do a Wild West one. It's going to be another whole table setup, but instead of it being Kickstarter style, it's going to be pre-order. This way, and it's going to be pre-order where it's half up front. So because Kickstarter, you're technically not buying anything, you're just pledging. This way, you're guaranteed something. So it'll be half up front, and then when your order's ready to ship, you pay the rest of it. So that way, you've got a lot more freedom. It also allows me when I do them that way because we do everything custom. So if you want to change the signs on something, we can do it. If you want, for example, if you're buying like a building like this one, and you decide that you want a different marquee or something bigger, or if you say I don't want as many windows, we can do that.
Sorry.
Do not start another round unless you can finish it. Don't forget, at the end of this round, when you are done, please leave your armies up for display so we can judge them. So leave them up on the tables so we can judge them. 15 minutes left.
And that's how I give you one of the platinum models of this, where it's all dipped in platinum. But you got to know that secret code that I just said. Hey, I tried. But no, so by going to that, it's going to give us a few more options to widen things out. We're adding stuff to it constantly. I'm constantly designing stuff. People call. I get a ton of calls, a ton of emails. This came out of somebody asking a question. They said, could we do it? I said, I'll give it a shot. I love it. I was just talking to Terrainaholic. He and I were talking about design philosophy and how we come up with the stuff. And it's great. I mean, we're having fun. That's the goal with it. We want to see good tables. I want to see good tables.
So, hey, everything is basically right now. A lot of them, you can probably email them and ask, hey, can you do this? Probably can make it, right?
I'll give it a shot. I mean, there's no problem in trying it. So, as always, the link to everything will be about right a little lower.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, somewhere there.
Somewhere in this area there'll be a link, or over here, or maybe up here. There'll be a link somewhere on this picture. It may be right over my face. You never know.
And the way to contact you is look for Burn In Design, or
you can go to burnindesigns.net, or you can find us on Twitter at burnindesigns, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/burnindesigns.
All the links are going to be down below.
Yep.
All right.
Easy to get a hold of.
Thanks again, Lathan.
All right. Take care, man.